I'm here at the Hummingbird Pantry in Titusville, Florida, and I'm being joined by, what is your name, ma'am?
My name is May G.
May G. And do you come over here to the pantry a lot for different needs?
Yes, I do.
And how long have you been coming here?
A little over a year.
And what kind of things does the pantry help you out with?
They help me out with meat, clothing, very much so vegetables.
Mm-hmm. So fresh stuff, yeah?
Yes, yes.
And how old are you? Are you a senior? Are you a senior citizen?
I'm 68, soon to be 69.
So you're on a fixed income?
I'm on a fixed income, but what started me to really coming here is that I'm a cancer survivor. I've had bladder cancer 5 different times. And for some reason, when I came by the pantry when it was over on Hopkins Street, Gina was there, and I really didn't have a lot. And she let me in and come into the pantry, and she let me pick out what I needed.
Right.
And that was a very good thing. Right. So that's what started me to come into the pantry. And I come to the pantry now is because at this pantry, they don't load all the food up in a bag and give you a bag.
Right.
You come in and you get what you need. You choose what you need, and you don't have stuff that you're not going to use. And so that's how I started coming, and that's why I still come. And yes, I come and I get clothes, and I get food, and I get very good food, very good fresh vegetables. And I have told a lot of people that are like me on a fixed income that this is the place they need to come.
So what did you, when you were in need before you started coming here, what did you do? Did you just go without? Did you go hungry?
I went without. I didn't necessarily go hungry, but I wasn't eating the food that I should have been eating battling cancer.
So you were eating odds and ends, maybe just some noodles or something? Noodles
and peanut butter and bread was my thing to go to.
Got you through. Those were the minimum things.
Right. And spaghetti with just spaghetti sauce, and it was like the 99-cent spaghetti sauce. Right. And I would get that, and I would eat off of that for almost a week. So that was what got me through.
So all it did was it kept the hunger pains away, but it wasn't nourishing. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't nutritious. It wasn't what you needed to get through?
No, that's why I gained so much weight. I gained about 30 pounds because I wasn't getting what I needed.
Yeah. Wow.
And by coming here, I get what I need.
Well, I appreciate you taking a minute to tell me, what the mission means for you or the pantry and what you get out of it.
The pantry means a lot to me. If the pantry wasn't here, I think I'd be back in the same shape that I was because this pantry really helped the people.
Right. All right. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Wait, the microphone? See, that was quick.
Wait a minute.
See, that was painless.
What are you doing?
That was painless.
Why are you crying? What? It's the truth. Why are you crying? I'll never forget that day. The pantry wasn't even open that day, and I came here and came to the pantry, and she gave me food that day. It wasn't even open. She says, "You're finna get food now." Anyway, okay.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that.
Get me started. I just came in here to look. I might not even get anything, okay?
Thank you, Miss G.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna make me look so ugly on there.
Oh, come on.
And who are you?
You're beautiful.
You didn't tell me your name.
Keith War. Today is the 13th of June, 2018. I'm Keith War, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And today I'm being joined by, what is your name, ma'am?
Gina Stanford.
Gina Stanford. And Gina, you run the
Hummingbird Pantry.
Hummingbird Pantry here in Titusville, Florida. And the address is
3000 Jolly Street. We're building number 4, which is the last building behind Riverview School.
Behind Riverview School. So tell me a little bit about this pantry. we're going to show the tour later on. I'll put that at the end of the video and show you guys around here. But tell me a little bit about it. Like, for instance, how long has it been open? When did you start it?
We started helping people in 2012. I was actually volunteering in Riverview School, right here in this school, in 2012, and I was in the office. It was right after Thanksgiving break. A whole bunch of kids came back on that Monday, and they were starving. And I couldn't understand why the children were so hungry. So when I asked why are the kids so hungry, and they said because their school was out. It still didn't register. I had no idea. So when they said it again, well, it was Thanksgiving break. It was no school Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now it's Monday. And a lot of the children only get food at school during breakfast and lunch.
Right.
And when they're home on long breaks, they get nothing. So from that, I said, well, that'll never happen again. And by that Christmas, we had 45 families that we were able to give the entire Christmas meal to, and it had to be fresh. That was my big hang-up. It had to be fresh. Nothing could be canned. And we also gave breakfast and lunch items to the families for the children while they were out on that long break for Christmas. So we started off just with the 3 holidays. Then in 2016, there was just more requests for more need. And when I said, well, what about other pantries? It wasn't that they were not doing, they have done an excellent job. It was just some gaps there that other people just needed to be filled a little bit tighter. So we partnered up with Hummingbird Mission, which was a thrift store, and we were Hummingbird Pantry. So we had our pantry inside of a thrift store, and then we were able to help people on a weekly basis. And on that particular day when they came into the pantry once a week, then they were also able to get clothes, housewares, and anything else through the thrift store on that particular pantry day. So that worked out very well. They were able to just get more things. And then over time we added baby food, we added the diapers, so we just kept adding. As we got donations in, or when we saw a need, we just went on Facebook, made the request, and it just happened.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you and I were talking, and I've discovered something since doing these interviews with the homeless and trying to help people out, is that not that you're ungrateful for bags of cans of food and so on and so forth, but then that kind of creates more work, is then you have to check all the labels, the dates. If the cans are damaged, they can't be served to people, and that takes manpower, to stock the shelves. And when somebody donates $1, you can make that dollar. For one, $1 weighs next to nothing, and you can pick and choose, instead of being at the mercy of, you got 50 cans of corn and nothing to go with it, whereas you could balance it out and say, I only need 10 corn and buy some potatoes and some this and some variety. And so tell me a little bit about the realities, the difference between donating money and say a bag full of, let's say, $20 worth of groceries that I get. If I spend $20 myself, I go to Publix, I bring you this bag, what can you do with $20 instead of me bringing you $20 worth of goods?
Right. Well, our buying power goes a lot further. So we are under Second Harvest, so we're able to go there where $20 could buy I should have done the math on this. Hold on. You're going to edit.
Well, go ahead and give me a ballpark. Look, you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, $20 can buy, sometimes when we go down to Second Harvest, we can get a good 100 pounds of food, where a $20 might buy you one bag of food, and I can go down to Second Harvest with that same amount of money and sometimes load up my whole vehicle and be able to come back. And so we do appreciate the food that comes in,
yes.
because it does help.
Yes, it does.
Some things that we can never get enough of, because all the pantries want cereal, so it's very hard to go down and see cereal or sugar, things like diapers, sanitary napkins, some personal hygiene items. We appreciate all of those types of donations. But when it comes down to saying let me go to the grocery store and buy something at the grocery store and then donate it to them,
right.
That dollar doesn't weigh the same. Because with that $20, we can get 10 times more than what the average person would get if they went to the grocery store.
Plus, you know what your pantry needs.
And we know what the pantry needs. Like, if we know it's a holiday coming up, and we are now with 900 families that are registered, and we're trying to get at least 500 turkeys, you know, we kind of know that 2 months in advance we need to start picking turkeys, or we need to start picking through hams, or we need to, so we're always thinking ahead to say, well, yes, right now it's the summer, but I have to think that it's going to get cold by November, and I'm going to need blankets, and I'm going to need more pillows and more coats and more things like that. So it's always thinking for the long term ahead of what's going on right now. But I know $20 right now could go towards something that is going to come up really soon. And you know, with hurricane season coming on,
oh yeah,
and we got hit 2 years in a row with a hurricane, that's a very busy time for us.
Yeah.
And if everyone gets hit, then donations just don't come in.
Right.
But if we have the cash, then we can just say, okay, let's go get it. As soon as the lights come on, as soon as the power comes on, as soon as that, then we're in place to go. Instead of sitting and waiting while everyone is in cleanup mode. And everyone needs, especially when you lose your refrigerator for 2 weeks.
Right.
Everybody is in need.
Yes.
So the cash helps us be in place quicker, and we can buy more with the cash.
What's the realities? Who are you serving on a daily basis? Because you're serving more than just people that are homeless. Are we talking families? Are they old? Are they young? You know, what have you seen?
We have a lot of families, and we have a lot of well-educated, hard-working families. It's not what some people might think, the alcoholic on the corner. A
lot of people in this country don't make a living wage anymore.
Well, that's another whole question.
It is, but that's a reality. But, you have people that are employed full-time, yet they still need your services.
Yes.
And there's something wrong with that, don't you think?
Yeah, that's another whole issue that is a big problem in the whole United States, but especially in Florida. It's like Florida just suffers twice. And then, you know, when you have more residents, then you have possible jobs, and then when jobs do come in, sometimes people bring their own people with them. So those top jobs might not even go to the residents that live here.
And there are a lot of minimum wage tourism jobs, minimum wage, that you cannot support a family on.
So you can work every day, your husband, everybody can work, and you still qualify for WIC. Or you still qualify for some type of Medicaid or some type of low assistance, and you're working every day. And then we have a lot of unfortunate series of events where a contract ended, because there is a lot of contract work, whether it's landscaping or at the Cape, or it's a lot of contract work that goes on, roofing or anything like that. So when it's good, and now you catch up. And you do everything you can to catch up, and sometimes before you can catch up, it's already gone. Or a school closes and some families are out of work, or anything can happen.
Right.
So just unfortunate circumstances happens to good people.
Right, yes.
They're working every day, paycheck to paycheck, and next thing you know, the car goes out.
Or a small health emergency or anything.
Something simple, and it wipes you out. So the majority of the people that come here actually are working families.
The working poor.
Right. Or,
so how would I come in here to see you? Or do I need a referral? Can I come in off the street?
You can come in off the street as long as you have ID that shows that you live in North Brevard, because that's our service area.
Yeah, what is the purpose of the ID? Why do I need ID? Many people have asked, Why ID? Why do we need ID? What is the purpose of the ID?
There are a lot of resources in a lot of other places. So, say for instance, if you live in Melbourne, Melbourne has a lot more resources than North Brevard does. So, since North Brevard is in more despair than South Brevard, if you're in South Brevard, you can get way more. So just stay in South Brevard and use the services there. Because if we were to help the entire county, we don't have enough resources. So now, instead of people coming in and being able to get a week's worth of food, we might have to only give them 1 day's worth of food, because it would take too much pressure. It would put too much pressure on our resources. And then other people live in other counties. And so right now, when we started off Titusville and Mims. And now we've added Scottsmore to Port St. John, because we found that Port St. John was getting cut. They couldn't go to Cocoa, they were considered North Brevard. They couldn't go to Melbourne, they were considered North Brevard. But some agencies were not reaching out to Port St. John. So we just added Port St. John into our fold when we moved into this new facility in February.
Well, there are a lot of homeless that I know that do not have ID for whatever reason. They can't store or whatever. Are you saying that you would turn those folks away?
No, okay. We don't. We do have a lot of homeless that come, and it's different scenarios. Sometimes we have a homeless veteran that comes from the DAV. They've already referred them, so we already know that they're vetted through that agency and that they're deemed homeless.
So if you had 2 or 3% of the people that walked through your door didn't have ID, that's okay. Because you can believe them that they're homeless and they live here. Like I said, if only 2 or 3% of the people that walk in the door don't have ID. But the other 90-some% need to, like you said, to make sure the local resources are staying local with the local people.
Right, right.
And would you say we have a lot of more seniors coming in through your door? I
have a lot of seniors come through, and they're on fixed incomes. They've worked all their lives. They've retired. Prices go up, but that doesn't mean that their checks go up.
Right.
And I do have some seniors that got a notice that some of their monies are going to be taken away from them in the next coming year. So they're actually going to receive less income. And it's just surprising, that's their reality. So I have one woman, she's a dedicated volunteer. She receives $743 a month, and as of next month, she's going to start receiving $620.
Oh, wow.
So that's a hard hit. Yeah. It's a hard hit. So,
let's talk a little. Let me talk a little bit about resources. Where does your money come from? Where does the funding come from? How do you pay your light bill?
I have to say, it's a whole leap of faith. When the thrift store closed, because the thrift store covered the electric and the rent and the overhead for the pantry to exist inside of the thrift store. Once the thrift store closed and we came, and we were actually blessed, Board of Education granted us this building, but we do have expenses.
But you don't pay rent.
We have a facility fee that we pay, which is a blessing.
But it's cheaper than rent.
It's cheaper than rent. It's cheaper than rent.
Did you have a power bill? You have water bill?
We have the one bill that's paid to them, because electric and water and everything is in their name. So we just pay a facility fee to them.
And covers everything.
Once a month, and that's a flat rate. And then we still have our advertisement. We still have our telephone, internet, insurance. It's still a lot of other bills that we have. But once we were granted with this building, then we moved here without a thrift store. So now we're really depending on the community even more so. So we do have something that's called the Hummingbird 100. So that's individuals that donate $100 to the pantry every single month, whether they write a check, but most people just come and have it withdrawn directly from their account into our account.
Right.
And that just goes directly in, and it shows up once a month. We do not have enough Hummingbird 100s to cover any one bill, but it is a blessing, and we hope to let that grow. Then we do have corporate sponsors, and the corporate sponsors and the different businesses that have supported us in the past, we appreciate everything they do. It's just not consistent. And people like to spread things around. So if they help one organization for a couple of months, and they want to help someone else a couple of months. So it's a hard hit when you have someone giving, a certain amount every month or every quarter, and then they withdraw, and it's just like, okay. So it's always, we haven't gotten to the point where we can continue to build. Now, some of the corporate sponsors will be like, okay, well, next year I'll give, and they do. They come back around, but they like to spread it. So just trying to find individuals or businesses that will say, this is our level of support, and make it continuous so we can rely on it.
Well, let's say about an individual. Let's say an individual sitting at home watching this video right now, they say to themselves, maybe they have $5 or $10 they can give, but or maybe they can't even give that, but they have some time and they have Tuesdays free. What about volunteer opportunities? Do you have those kinds of things? Do you need people to clean and load up? And do you have teenagers? Do kids, have to from the high school come in here to I don't know if they're required to have volunteer hours to graduate or whatever, but do you have those types of folks?
We do have volunteers that are teenagers, and they get their letter because we're 501, we're nonprofit, so we can count for their Bright Future scholarship requirements, or sometimes different colleges want to see that you put in so much community service hours.
Are you in need of volunteers?
We are always in need of volunteers. So once someone says that they want to volunteer, then we collect their email. We also have a volunteer Hummingbird Pantry volunteer page on Facebook, which they can ask to be invited to. So that way, anyone that wants to volunteer can just go to Facebook, Hummingbird Pantry volunteers. They can log on, or say they forgot what time, or they forgot what day. They can just go on there and everything is listed, and that helps them keep up with when we need volunteers. Then I also send out group texts where it's just reminders, hey, we need volunteers, or especially if someone has a yard sale, and whatever they don't sell, they bring to us, and that's wonderful.
Right, yeah.
So we've had it where 4 or 5 different people had yard sales, and it all came to us. So when we come in Monday, we cannot even open the door, and it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. But now
put that stuff away,
doing massive texts. I need you. Who's available? And this is the times we'll be here. So they'll get it in a text, and they can also see it on Facebook. So it works out that way, but we're always in need of volunteers.
And what are your hours of operation?
Well, besides our pantry day, that's pretty much a set time. Pantry days are twice a month, and they're on Wednesdays. And now, if there's 5,
the first Wednesday of the month, or how does that go?
It varies, because if there's 5 Wednesdays in a month, no matter what, it's only 2 Wednesdays.
Okay.
And if Second Harvest brings a semi-truck here, then that counts as a pantry day.
Okay.
And a semi-truck is up to 26 pallets of food. It could be anywhere between 25 to 45,000 pounds, and we call for 50 volunteers.
So am I understanding you right that you can only come here to the pantry twice a month for food? I don't understand.
If you have an emergency if you have an emergency situation, a lot of people call, or I'll get a call from somewhere else, and they're like, Gina, I have a family, can they come over? If it's an emergency situation, we let them come straight in.
Okay. So if you're on a regular kind of schedule type thing, then it's the every...
right. Now, once you get registered, once we get you all squared and you're set and you're good to go, then you just come on our normal pantry days. But most of the times, if we have an emergency, it's someone that is the first time. Whether it's a fire, The hurricane brings in a lot of emergencies, and we're just here. You know, as soon as we're allowed to, we're just here.
And how many families would you say you have signed up that rely on that pantry?
Well, we have 900 families that are registered right now.
900 regulars that come in here for help?
And thank God they don't all show up at the same time.
That's a lot of, out of 44,000 people here in Titusville, you got 900 people signed up, registered, and to think, you know, you don't have them all. There's other places they have them. So there's a big need here in Titusville.
Yes,
it's huge.
Yes. Now, at our last semi, just to give you some numbers, at our last semi drop, which was May 16th, we had 386 families that actually came through the line. That equated to over 1,500 people. But there would have been more, but at 4 o'clock, we said, no, we cannot take any more people in this line. So at that point, there were still people pulling up. There were still people, but we had to stop the line at 4 o'clock. We could have been here probably until 9 o'clock that night.
Right.
But we had to stop the line. So we stopped it at 386 families. And it was still people calling me. We couldn't make it. We got turned away. We came too late. I got off of work late. But Second Harvest, you have to give that food away within a certain amount of time. It all has to go that day.
Right.
So it's a lot of food that we hand out. A whole shopping cart is overflowing with food for that particular day. Now, on a regular pantry day, we can have about almost 300, and that's our regulars. Those are people that come to us all the time, or until their situation gets better.
Yeah.
So
I just think that's awesome that you let people pick what they want instead of just giving them a bag and saying here, and it could be stuff they will eat, stuff they won't eat, partials, and this way it just seems so much better. Things aren't going to waste. And is there a limit? Like if somebody has an emergency and they come in here, do you limit them by the number of pounds, or you know, what is your kind of thing on that? I mean, it's got to be a limit, right? You can't just...
Yes. And
one person can't come in and clear the place out.
Right.
Unless they're a family of 12 or 15.
And we do have families at large, especially when grandmothers still have, or moms still have children in the home, and then those children have children.
Oh, yes.
So we do have some very large families that we do support, and we do have 12 and 13 people in the family. So it has changed, and I think all of our neighbors that come are okay with the change, but we used to be able to say if you're a family of 1 or if you're a family of 5, it was a different amount that we could give. Now it's pretty much everybody's going to get the same amount of food, only because we don't have enough resources anymore. You know, money changes everything.
Right. Yeah.
So without the financial support to have 30 cases of corn and 30 cases of green beans, and you know, it's like, this is all we have, and you can pick 4 different cans of greens, 4 different cans of potatoes, 4 different, you know, so you're getting still a lot, but it's not, it differs from how we used to do it, to say, well, you're a family of 2, so this is what you get, and you're a family of 13, and this is what you get. Everybody's going to get the same amount. And now meat changes. It depends. Normally, we're getting 1,000 pounds of meat when we go down to Second Harvest, and we go through that entire 1,000 pounds. But if we look out and that line is already to 200 people outside, then we have to say everybody just pick 2 packs of meat. If it's a rainy day, because that affects our walkers and our bike riders, and they don't come because of the harsh weather, then we can say everybody take 4 packs. So, and that works out better when we're only here twice a month. So that gives them more meat to last them until they can come back.
So if I have things I want to donate, like some food or some clothing and things like that, or some money, what is the best way? How can we get those things? Do you have a PayPal account? Should we drop it off to you? Like how can we get you the things we have? How can people donate?
Well, if it's monetary donations, we do have PayPal. We feel that's the safest, easiest way. Everybody recognizes, and I don't, everybody kind of trusts PayPal. So if you go to our website, www.hummingbirdpantry.org, you go there, you click donate. So if you want to become a member, if you want to join Hummingbird 100, if you want to become a sponsor, a corporate donator, or just donate any amount you want, you just click whatever link works for you.
Okay.
Once you click that link, then when you go inside, you put in the dollar amount that you want to put in, and PayPal asks you, do you want this to reoccur monthly? And we love every donation that comes in, but those reoccur
the monthly
monthlies,
donators.
That is, when I see that come up, even if it's $5, I have people that go in and they just do $5 every single month, and at least I know it's there. And every month I'm like, okay, well, I know $5 is coming.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So it just makes a huge impact for us. So,
do you do this full time, or do you work also?
Well, I volunteer full time. And right now I have a series of unfortunate events that prohibit me from working. So it's been a struggle for me too. So,
and this has got to be a struggle. I would imagine you're making personal sacrifices to run this.
Right.
But you realize there's a huge need.
I used to work. I had my own business and everything, and I was doing this on the side, and that was fine. And then a couple of car accidents, people just not paying attention, and just please stay off your cell phones. Please pay attention when you drive, and don't run into other people. And I had 2 people that rear-ended me 5 months apart from one another. So before I could even really recover, I had just got released from the first accident. A month later, another person rear-ended me.
Wow.
Because of those injuries, I had to sell a business that I owned, and I had to just, phase that out. I couldn't lift people and take care of people and things like that, so I had to let that go. So I had found this real cushy job where it wasn't cushy, but I could sit down when I needed to sit down, I could stand up when I needed to stand up, I could stretch if my hips were hurting, my back was hurting, whatever. I had the freedom to be able to adjust myself as I needed to if I was in pain, until a gunman came in with a gun. And from that, it caused me to...
Alright, so you guys noticed my other camera broke. The battery ran out, but we just wanted to finish this up. So, what is the address?
So, our address is 3000 Jolly Street in Titusville, Florida. We're in building number 4, which is the last building all the way in the back behind Riverview School.
Okay, and what is your phone number?
321-225-4075, and our web address is www.hummingbirdpantry.org.
Alright guys, hey, thanks for watching, and as always, you guys can leave me a message on YouTube, and I can get a message to Miss Gina if you want. If you're having a hard time finding hers, you guys can join the Facebook page called Homeless in Titusville. She is also a member there if you want to reach her, and as always, you guys can reach out to me on Facebook at KEITHWOHR and send me a friend request and a private message, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. And until next time, thanks for watching.
our board president, the Reverend Wayne Wilson, is going to lead us in prayer.
All right, everybody, let's stand up. Let's get everybody out of the kitchen. Is anybody back here taking a break?
Juliet, everybody? Okay.
All right. Let's stand up, bow our heads. We say, Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for another day that we could serve your people, dear God. Yes. Lord, as the day go by, give us strength, endurance, give us patience. Help us with the peace of our understanding, Lord. And let us move amongst the community with the spirit that passes all understanding, dear Father. Father, we ask you to bless each and every person that's represented here. Bless the people that come for our service, dear Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And thank you for coming.
Get it.
Okay. Everybody, pick. Hey, Miss Catherine. Miss Catherine, you can go with Juliet on the table. You just need a chair over there. Everybody, if you're just arriving, wait. If you're just arriving, meet some. Everybody that was already here at Boston, raise your hand. Okay. So now you want to find someone that was already here, so they can show you how to continue to box the boxes. So wherever you want to go.
So how long have you been coming to the pantry? How long have you been coming to the pantry?
All my life. I mean, well, not all my life, but I've been coming for a couple months, for a couple years, about a year or so.
And what do you think about the food?
It's nice. It's nice. It's nice, and I mean, the food is. I mean, it helps you out. Some people can't afford no food and stuff. It helps you out. Yeah.
And you're just here for just yourself, or you're here for a family?
I'm here for myself. I brought my sister right there, so, but yeah, I'm here for myself to help me and my family out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Standing right there. Came down here.
So this is your second time coming to the pantry?
Second time, yeah.
And you find yourself in need here, and you live in Titusville?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat. And what's your family situation? Are you a large family or small? Or?
Just three of us. Me and my wife live with my father right now.
Okay. Are you guys disabled or?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm on disability.
So this has got to be something that really kind of helps out.
It does. As far as groceries, I think everybody needs help with groceries once in a while. I mean,
yeah. It seems almost no one makes a living wage anymore. And have you gone to other pantries besides this one here?
Oh, yeah.
And compared to the other ones, what do you think of this one here? I saw a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables in there and things like that that I don't normally see at pantries.
No, not normally. But this is the only one I know that has the fruits and vegetables. So this is really nice. That's about all I can say. It's really nice.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
you.
All right.
P4.